Once upon a time, a college didn't need to do much to motivate success. Its very existence as an institution of higher learning was enough. But today, in a world where colleges and universities across the country compete for the attention of potential students, and where higher education at large is faced with significant demographic and technological shifts, much more than aspirational words and mere existence are needed to ensure our institution's success. It requires a collective investment of all of our talents and resources, because without that, our very survival is at stake. The old model of higher education is becoming obsolete. Students have more options than ever before to pursue an education, and the institutions that will survive in this environment will be the ones that can best manage the change. In the face of this shifting landscape, the status quo is not an available option. We must ask ourselves, what makes us stand out? Colleges and universities are seeing the most diverse student populations in the history of their existence. This diversity shift is not only how students look, where they come from, or whether their parents and parents' parents attended college. It's about how they learn and the support they require. It's about outcomes and true equity. This means charting a bold path, one that includes providing each student with uniquely tailored support that ensures they cross the finish line on time. You see, arriving to college is not the final destination. Our job is to provide our students, the students we have now, with what they need and deserve to get to commencement and prepare for brighter futures ahead. The expectations of students for teaching, learning, research, and the student experience are changing. We must meet students where they are, and utilizing an unwavering commitment to this is our mission. Outside our very doors, the community around us has been experiencing a renaissance. It had to embrace change, and it did so in order to survive. We must not take our existence for granted. We must give up antiquated ways of thinking and doing, and be willing to embrace the changes and shifts taking place before our very eyes. The shift has happened. It's happening and will continue to do so, with or without us. Our only alternative to adapting to change, to equity, to investing in outcomes is failure. And failure is not an option. Buffalo State College has an opportunity that we have never had before. Our success is ours to obtain, and in order to grasp it, we need to accept that it is okay to engage more with what could be, and not just what is. What if we could all invest a little more in our students? What if we put individual opinions and desires aside and made them our top consideration? What if we were all in on our collective mission? What if each of us did our part to make sure that our student experience is one that provides complete transformation for them, transcending what they know or thought they could ever be? As we work together, we must strive for enhanced ways to achieve excellence, accessibility, diversity, and most importantly, sustainability. No longer focused on single improvements, but on total transformation. We must be all in. So, what will your response be? Will you commit to the hard work of sustaining and innovating through continuous change? Will you take the time to understand the differences, the experiences, and the needs of the students we have today? Can we work together to secure Buffalo State College's long-term success in the years, decades, and millennia to come? The answer to those questions should be a resounding yes from all of us. Our focus is clear, and it is to move us forward. Let us begin to believe, inspire, and achieve.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you appreciated that film that really frames where we are. It is my pleasure to once again provide my opening year address. I'm very happy to welcome you to the Burchfield Penney Art Center, and I send greetings to those of you who are viewing my comments from the social hall or other locations. We, members of the Buffalo State College community, have settled into another academic year, and hopefully we are all finding our stride as we move forward. There is much to celebrate as we appreciate where we are as a campus and the many accomplishments that have been made and the new goals that soon will be completed as we move forward. And of course, there is still much more work to be done as we meet or exceed our current goals and work to achieve campus aspirations within a highly competitive and a budget-constrained environment. But first, for a few introductions in the audience, we have new faculty and staff that have joined us since last fall. So would all the new faculty and staff members with us today please stand so we can officially welcome you to the Buffalo State community. To all of you, welcome again to Buffalo State, and I look forward to seeing the many manifestations of your many accomplishments as you add your expertise to our already outstanding contributions from existing faculty and staff. Before I dive into the current year, I'd like to remind us of some of the events and projects that shaped and occupied our thoughts, our minds, our hours, and days during the last academic year. We began the fall of 2018 by welcoming yet another outstanding group of students to our campus. As usual, the summer before the start of the new academic year was busy as we prepared for our new students. That time of the year is always particularly hectic, with the excitement of students permeating campus and the sparks flying as continuing students return back to campus. And then returning and new students quickly fall into the normal pattern of friendships and extracurricular activities, classroom experiences, and other obligations that define college days for most of our students. As we look back on 2018 academic year, it is clear that every division was making significant efforts to address the needs of our students and to elevate students to continued success. Within the Division of Academic Affairs, the faculty and staff implemented new mechanisms and new offerings to support students. Starting last year, at the end of each semester, the academic community sought to support students preparing for the end of the semester by building out a bingo study night. Several departments provided review sessions on courses that are seen particularly challenging to some students. In 2-hour blocks, faculty provided intensive review sessions to better prepare students to be successful as they entered the final exam period. Additionally, walk-in tutoring was available for both math and writing courses, and these, along with the normal stress-reducing activities, group games, relaxation activities, therapy dogs, and plenty of pizza were provided throughout collaboration between academic departments, Academic Commons, and the Weigel Health Center. Over 300 students each semester attended the bingo study night, so it struck a chord with our students as they sought support in classroom and stress reduction at the end of a semester. The academic departments also refined course offerings, updated or developed new courses, and continued to advance the teaching mission of the college. Among the many curricular changes that were developed and implemented were the development of a statistics and insurance certificate. This 15-credit undergraduate program is designed to prepare students to enter the actuarial or financial profession, as well as provide a strong background in statistical analysis. Students will be prepared on the completion of this certificate to tackle qualifying exams given by the Society of Actuaries and the Causality Actuarial Society. Among the many changes that we saw within the curriculum were the development of new courses within the honors general education options. Honors developed and sought and received permission to add an honors American history seminar, a non-Western civilization seminar, a Western civilization seminar, and a diversity seminar. You may have heard the courses on positive psychology have become extremely popular across the country. University of Pennsylvania has been providing these courses for some time, And when Yale developed a course in positive psychology in 2018, it made media acclaim. It immediately became the most popular course ever taught at Yale. In just 3 days of opening the course, 1/4 of the entire undergraduate student body at Yale signed up for the course. So indeed, positive psychology is something that addresses an academic area of interest for our students and one that they feel is personally relevant. So not to let other campuses outdo us, we have developed our own positive psychology course, Psych 120. Psych 120, Happiness, Hope, and Humor, has been approved as a social science general education course, and Professor Karen O'Quinn is teaching it for the first time this semester, enrolling well over 100 students. The course is an introduction to positive psychology and includes such topics as happiness, altruism, hopefulness, and humor. It also explores determinants of well-being, such as forgiveness, gratitude, and social support. Clearly, this course is destined to be a very popular course on campus, and one that may contribute to self-mastery and development for those students seeking this course. We also saw the emergence of Africana Studies major, or the reemergence, this last year. The revived major is now available to students on campus beginning just this fall, and it comes as a content area that has great popularity among our students. This interdisciplinary major will provide benefits across majors for those who wish a grounding and understanding in Africana Studies, but can also serve to advance any field of study or career path, and may be a perfect double major for many students. We also launched the Master's Educator program last year through a collaboration between the School of the Professions and the School of Education. Within the School of Professions, the question was asked, what would be the impact if those who research and teach the art and craft of teaching and learning interfaced with faculty eager to become master educators? The result was a well-crafted collaboration and mentorship between the two schools. Special thanks to then Dean Mayrose, now interim provost, for creatively seeking a way to advance teaching and to put Buffalo State College on a path to lead others. I had the opportunity to hear from faculty at the end of the spring semester who had been a part of the first cohort of the Master Educator program. I was thrilled to learn of the many benefits that had been achieved during that collaboration. What I learned was that measurable and potentially far-reaching changes were already being manifested in the classroom. Students and faculty were more engaged, students were taking more responsibility for their learning, and faculty were clued into gaps that were occurring within the classroom well before an exam was given. This providing an opportunity for early intervention and enhanced learning to occur. I cannot totally recount the richness of what this process has been for our students or our faculty that participated in the Master's Educator program, but faculty eagerly shared many, many positive results. Please talk to the deans of either the School of the Professions or the School of Education, or those faculty engaged in the Institute to learn more about this amazing and exciting program. Telling our story was in high gear last year, as we added to our messages about the merits of a Buffalo State education. Informally, every time an administrator, a faculty member, or a staff member is before an audience, we are really telling our story. When a member of the faculty or staff is asked, "How is everything at Buffalo State?" and you answer, you're telling our story. In more formal, clear, and organized ways, we tell our story through the Buffalo State website, the stories that are developed and written by marketing and communication, the interviews that we give, the many responses we provide to questions or concerns people may have, and then many projects we talk about that occur here at Buffalo State. In 2018's academic year was full of opportunities to tell our story. I hope you enjoyed hearing our stories and participating in telling our transformative Buffalo State story. Last year, we added another theme to the very way we told our story. During 2018, we included the theme, Believe, Inspire, Achieve. With these simple 3 words, we describe the arc of what we aspire to do when each and every student joins our college. We first begin by believing in our students. We believe that they are here because they or a decision maker in their family has decided that Buffalo State is a good fit for them. We've admitted them in good faith, and we believe that they can be successful in completing a degree at Buffalo State. We are dedicated to inspiring our students just as they inspire us. We know because our students tell us that they want us to be their guides, their mentors, and their supporters. Thus, we have the capacity to inspire them to new heights. We can inspire students to see the strength and abilities within themselves that maybe they don't always see. With a focus on excellence, engagements, and social responsibility, we strive to support our students to success. We believe we can steer them to be on the path of achievement that garners a degree completion as they soar on to competitive jobs or to advanced study. Believe, inspire, achieve has been added to our storyline to clearly represent the arc of student academic and personal development on our campus. Our enhanced storytelling has had a positive impact on the students who look seriously to join us here on campus. We saw a 29% increase in the fall student open house attendance, and then in the spring, we saw the largest spring open house in the history of the college. Clearly, our message as SUNY's urban engaged campus that supports an ever-diverse group of students was resonating with prospective students. We augmented our story by using increasing words through social media presence on all forums, and we rolled out the college's first ever mobile billboard advertising strategy, the first of any college in Western New York to do so. During 2018, we made significant changes on campus through the commitment and leadership of student affairs staff members. You may have noticed the amazing orientation programs for our new students and the high-quality engagement programs throughout the year that led to record attendance. We continue to bring new programs on campus to better serve our students. One such program was a new way to advance health on campus. The Weigel Health Center partnered with other divisions to move the campus to understand the many collateral areas that have a direct impact on health. One such issue was nutrition. It is clear that healthy eating patterns contribute significantly to overall health, or you might say poor eating habits contributes to poor health. In alarming numbers, we see adolescents and young adults today being affected by illnesses that are really correlated with lifestyle choices. Increasing numbers of students that are pre-diabetic or diabetic is one such issue. A significant project to address such issues was the opening of the Nutrition Education Counseling Center in Claddaugh Hall. The center brings together the Weigel Health Center, the Department of Health, Nutrition and Dietetics, athletics, dining services, and residence life to provide comprehensive nutrition counseling and dietetic services to our students, both in the center and in other locations throughout campus. With a growing and a troubling number of young people facing diabetes and the significant negative health consequences of poor nutritional habits, this program is an important addition for our campus. Last summer, we also completed Phase 1 replacement of the athletic field. The new resurfaced Coyer field is showing its stripes and providing an outstanding and a visually stunning field for our teams. If you hadn't had a chance to see it yet, I'd suggest it is well worth a walk across campus to gaze at the new Coyer. Or perhaps better, you could join the Buffalo State family for homecoming football or soccer games next weekend. In addition to Coyer Field, the Division of Finance and Management was extremely busy overseeing, executing, and preparing facility projects across campus. Every project from the large scale, like the work of the completion of the final phase of the Science and Math Center to open this spring, the middle size, like the renovation, refit, and rebuild within Butler Library, or the small, like the sidewalks and repairs across campus, are all completed under the skillful leadership of finance and management. We have a large and aging set of buildings, so the work in this area is really never ending. One of the highlights for me in the late spring was to see the skeletal structure of the planetarium take form. But as you know now, we have advanced beyond those early days as we watch the final phases materialize for a spring opening. I'll mention just 3 other things that may not be as obvious as the observable projects that occur throughout finance and management. Buffalo State this year joined a partnership of other anchor institutions across Buffalo and a procurement initiative project. This was an initiative that emerged from the Greater Buffalo Racial Equity Roundtable. 12 major businesses have come together to better understand and leverage our purchasing policies and explore how our policies can be mission aligned with local companies. As a state institution, we have many layers that govern how we handle procurement. But nevertheless, this is an important project for institutions like us that wish to align, when possible, our needs with local providers, including those businesses that are owned by women and members of underrepresented groups. Also, under the leadership of Finance and Management, we have also initiated a 200 acres team. This partnership includes discussions from those who originally were part of the 200 acres that were once the Buffalo State Psychiatric Hospital. The partners are Buffalo State College, the Richardson Complex, and the Buffalo Psychiatric Center. This provides an opportunity to discuss matters that uniquely affect us all, such as grounds, facilities, joint beautification, parking constraints, or event management. Supported and overseen by the Division of Advancement are all our external fundraising efforts at the college. To this end, the largest fundraising event each year is the Spring Gala. Last spring, the theme was Under the Big Top. In that evening, we were able to both showcase the talents of our students and highlight some of the unique academic programs on campus. By all accounts, it was a splendid evening. It had all the fun of a great party, the pizzazz that keeps everyone engaged, the mission moment that allows everyone to know the importance of supporting students, and also the rekindling of old friends and new that brings people back again. It was a huge success and exceeded the fundraising project's goals for that event. The first year of our new Alumni and Visitor Center has been a significant success as well. Not only has it been a wonderful location for alumni and friends to gather, but it's also quickly become a community center where hundreds of campus and community programs have been hosted. I frankly don't know how we managed without it, and the feedback has been positive from both internal and external visitors. And finally, a central issue for finance and management in 2018 was our budget rebalancing. We did meet our rebalancing goal for last year, but more importantly, we have implemented a strategic resource and planning process that will guide us as we move forward. Administratively, we will continue to explore and implement efficiencies and develop the alternative funding sources that we need as we move forward. 2018 was a year of many new projects, sustaining good work in progress, implementing best practices to guide our future work, and rebalancing our expenses to better align with existing revenues. As always, pictures speak louder than words, so let's watch a video highlighting some of our moments from last year. Becomes a place where stories can be retold, new stories and connections can be made, and that the 147 history continues on as people remember what it was like. What a wonderful glimpse back into last year. If you're like me, some of the events you're saying, oh, that's right, that happened, right? So many wonderful things happened last year, and really I applaud all of you for your participation in making all those great things happen. But turning to our current year, I begin by reminding us that higher education, like every sector in this country and beyond, has faced or is facing radical or disruptive changes. Higher education is not the landscape it has been in the past. The critical voices challenging how we do our business, the cost of higher education, and the ability of higher education to meet the public needs, industry needs, and workplace needs has never been louder or more disruptive than they are today. Technological advances, creative solutions, cultural changes, and personal preferences has spread like wildfire throughout our higher education world. This is undeniable, and this is impacting how we fulfill our mission to educate the next generation of leaders. We have seen this relentless disruption in other fields, and now it's firmly here. We have seen other sectors adapt, morph into something else, or sometimes fade away and die. The overarching theme or issue that is the same in all sectors is continual change, not one and done change, but change that continues at a record speed. Change that at times really takes our breath away. Change that forces us to look at what we are doing and how we are delivering on our mission. We are in a marathon that has no end in sight. We must not only adjust, rework, and modify how we educate students, but we must also make revising and adapting our norm. Let me take an example that touches all of us, but is outside of higher education. The example is familiar to us, but does not challenge our cherished beliefs or widely held norms. The revolution and continued need to adapt within the banking industry has changed personal and business banking in significant and mind-blowing ways. Most, if not all of you, remember banking in the pre-technological period, and the time when patience was seen as a virtue, and good personal in-person service was a hallmark of good banking, and most people had great trust in their chosen bank. Those days are gone. Well, perhaps some of you are the age of my children and don't really remember all of this. I, however, remember standing in long lines to cash or deposit a check. I remember using deposit slips to list multiple deposits when putting several checks into the bank. I remember needing to be aware of how many days after you made a deposit you would need before your money was available to you. I remember paying my bills each month by written checks. And I recall needing to be physically present when you want to do a banking transaction, and of course, producing a physical government-approved identification when those banking services were needed. And does anybody remember going to the bank to negotiate traveler's checks before taking a trip out of the country to have access to your funds while traveling? Does anyone else remember those days? Well, from paper to ATM to bank app, the way we do banking has been revolutionized over the last 50 years. It did not change overnight or all at once, and the revolution has not been fully recognized. Banking of yesterday now seems antiquated compared to our technological, faster, and multi-entry banking industry of today. Grabbing cash from an ATM on the way to a restaurant, depositing those infrequent checks by opening your bank app and scanning it in, and moving money between accounts effortlessly, and paying all your bills virtually would have seemed laughable in my early adult years. However, this and more are the current state of the personal banking industry. And if your bank does not meet your needs or the speed and ease that you want to make transactions, you immediately move your cash to another bank. The current banking industry realizes that these are things that are pressing them to be innovative in new ways. Their revolution is not over. The current competitive banking industry is now looking to digitize even every aspect of the banking business. Customer demands for more high-tech services, connectivity between management apps, and various bank accounts, and faster banking has become loud and unrelenting. The Generation Z will have even more challenging demands than the current millennials and even us old folks that have begun to desire a banking experience that is more responsive than ever before. When we don't like the services, interface, pace, or rates, we just move to another bank and wait to be lured back. Loyalty to a bank or a higher education institution has been replaced by continued demands, a focus on services, and a persistent desire to know what you are offering that is new, better, faster, more advanced in delivering services in ways that are superior to those that are in the competitive market. So why do I share this with you? It is because higher education has seen and continues to be facing a revolution of our own. We are in the middle of it. We have been responding, but we need to continue to address our current landscape and the pressures, and we need to pick up the pace. The intro video you saw perfectly frames what we are facing here at Buffalo State and throughout higher education in the United States. Higher education cannot hide from the reality of the sea of change that we swim in today. We must embrace the new higher education environment and set our goals to educate, innovate, and graduate students who are ready to lead in our shifting and complex world, the world of today and the world of tomorrow. The best way to respond to these critics of higher education today is by shaping an educational environment that maintains higher education to be the elevator of mobility that has characterized public education for the last 6 decades. Immigrants from around the world, working class and middle class families, returning veterans, people historically marginalized in this country, and those striving for advancement have entered the elevator from sub-basements to first floor and have moved upward in social and financial mobility after acquiring a Buffalo State education. This is a proud Buffalo State tradition and one we cherish and we will continue as we move forward. We frequently draw attention to our diverse student body, and indeed we have an amazing, diverse, and vibrant campus of students and a growing diversity among our faculty and staff. Our programming and our inclusive practices have once again been acknowledged by Insight in Higher Education for the 7th year in the row with the HEAT Award. You want to clap for that? Something to be very proud of. This is something to be proud of, and we will continue to support and focus on equity and inclusion on our campus. But we need to remember today's students. Today's students are, in large number, what is now called Generation Z, those born between 1995 and the early 2000s. These students on our campus were born in a digitized world. They have grown up in a world where they watch YouTube to learn to bake a cake or change a tire, Google information for answers both simple and complex, and are connected to their phone to communicate, navigate, make purchases, and perform countless everyday activities, and utilize apps that, frankly, many of us have never opened. They swim in our digital sea effortlessly every day. Generation Z has been exposed to the critics of higher education from their parents, journalists, politicians, and all those who can and do criticize higher education unfairly or fairly for a variety of reasons. We've heard them all. You know them, and hopefully each of you have challenged those critical voices by articulating the amazing value of a Buffalo State education. These students have less patience than previous generations, and when faced with obstacles, they often look for other options and other institutions where they hope obstacles will not exist. They need advice and encouragement to stay the course. Generation Z is a highly entrepreneurial group. They have been watching influencers for most of their life. They have seen examples of individuals who have developed a personal brand, marketed their brand on social media, and frequently they have seen people be financially rewarded for the entrepreneurial and creative activities. These stories are viewed on small screens and seem to illustrate success is not that difficult. We know that's not true. They come to us with ideas to be the next great someone who invents, designs, or produces a thought, an idea, a concept, or a product that will make them someone who is followed by thousands, if not millions, of others while achieving financial gain. We need to ground these views within the real advantage of a college education. Clearly, higher education in general and Buffalo State in particular has made many modifications to respond to our changing landscape. The use of technology to capture and share student records, the incorporation of Blackboard as our current learning management tool, and the implementation of our version of Starfish, the Bingo portal, are all a few of the countless examples that have been beneficial and will be even more valuable as we fully implement and have a universal usage of these strategic and frequently changing technologies. Technical advancement has touched all aspects of our college work, from orientation apps to student accounts to facility use to business processes. We have steadily incorporated digital solutions within our everyday college work. As we move through this year and beyond, it is paramount that we ignite innovation in ways that touch all aspects of our work. A solution that may have been effective 10 years, 5 years, or even 2 years ago may not be fully effective today or in the future. Igniting innovation is ongoing. It is clear that technology plays a part in addressing the educational needs of current students. We need to reevaluate the technology and the technological support that is needed today, the digital solutions that address contemporary concerns, and we must revisit how to best employ solutions. It was not that long ago that voicemail and email were seen as a standard to advance communication on campuses. Today, we know that these now always have become noise and are frequently ignored by Generation Z and others. We must continually renew, review, and assess the best way to communicate with all segments of our community, including the students we seek to support. I shared with you earlier the success of our pilot Master Educator program. And several years ago, I shared with you the success of our faculty working with the Fit Academy. These are both wonderful steps toward igniting innovation within the classroom. This year, the Master Educator program continues the coaching model that was launched last year. These coaches will begin to share information and coach faculty within their home departments, and the cohort will share teaching strategies learned, research on 21st century skills, and expand faculty involvement in this remarkable program. Stay tuned for a plan to be shared with faculty in January by the provost at the welcome meeting to expand this program to reach an even greater number of faculty. This is an example of igniting innovation in the classroom in ways that will enhance the success of all of our students. Engaged students, again, are successful students. We have remarkable examples of engaged faculty throughout our college. Just this semester, we've launched a video presentation highlighting some of these remarkable faculty. In September, I shared on my blog and in the Daily the significant engagement occurring when Professor Sue McGuire from anthropology works with students during the Archaeological Field School at Old Fort Niagara. And just yesterday, I shared a glimpse into the engagement in computer information sciences being led by Professor Sarbani Banerjee. Examples will continue to be shared throughout the year to highlight and celebrate engaged faculty who are igniting innovation. Examples of engaged faculty occur across campus and within every academic school. Just this semester, Professor Robert Warren and 4 students published together in the Journal of Urban Ecology, not only reinforcing our scholarly connection to our urban engaged mission, but providing an outstanding research process and competitive edge for his students. The article published is called Long-Term Lichen Trends in a Dust Belt Region. And using existing data, they discovered that pollution and drought sensitivity caused lichens to disappear from the pre-industrial area of Western New York. What a wonderful example of how engagement deepens learning and facilitates future opportunities. As a campus, we have done a great deal to increase high-impact practices for our students. We've increased the number of service learning courses. We have internship opportunities in some of our key areas. We've increased the number of students who are participating in study abroad. And we've held steady opportunities in the early and later undergraduate years for students to be involved in undergraduate research. We need to expand these opportunities and connect students to what we know are elements that accelerate their success. Too many students, for vastly different reasons, seem to not be able to take advantage of these high-impact programs. Igniting our innovation means we will remove as many barriers as possible from participation in these programs, and we will strive to increase our outreach and encouragement for students to be truly engaged. I wonder if the reality of the digital sea is preventing some valuable connections between students and campus mentors. Are we assuming that students are more self-reliant, more in touch with information, and more independent because information is so easily available in so many varied ways? Are we making assumptions that they are not allowing us to meet them where they are? I think we are. Students often tell me and others that they want more contact with faculty and staff, not less. They express a clear longing for campus mentors and guides. So it is important to not confuse swimming in a digital sea with a lack of desire for close, consistent, and deep connections with campus faculty and staff. In a recent New York Times article, Anthony Abrahams Jack wrote an essay entitled, "I Was a Low-Income College Student. Classes Weren't the Hard Part." In his article, he recounts his experience as a student in a private college, Amherst. In the poignantly written piece, he describes the otherness of a first-generation student, assumptions his college made of him because of what he looked like, how he could not share his family life for fear of rejection, and how truly different he felt from those around him. I believe even on our campus that has many first and second generation students sometimes feel adrift. When students are connected to their faculty members, coaches, advisors, or staff, they are anchored into the institution in ways that they are truly feel supported and they feel that we care. I have many examples of students that have shared with me how it was the support and mentorship of a faculty member, a staff member, or a coach that made all the difference in their success. These stories are recounted often with tears of joy. Some of you in this very room have been such a support for a student or many students, and you have also shared those stories with me as well. But unfortunately, I also hear from students who do not always feel supported and sometimes feel marginalized. Igniting innovation means reaching all students. It means innovatively reaching students who may be about to become adrift. Many of these students, like Anthony, are doing well in classes, but are feeling disconnected and seek what they feel will be a different experience when they leave us. How can we be proactive and innovative in addressing these disjunctures among our Generation Z students? Remember, they have grown up in a digitally connected, fast-paced world where moving to the next best thing is more natural to them. I'm challenging all of us to ignite innovative approaches to address this new and ever-changing environment that is our new norm. This means and will mean that change is what you should expect, what you should embrace, and what is necessary to meet our mission. This fast-paced and always morphing world hits every part of our campus. Each division will address what it means to tackle challenges in this new environment. Creating greater efficiencies, meeting the needs of all students, supporting our mission inside and outside the classroom, and aligning our work with the reality of the current financial situation is the work of every section of our campus. We will ignite innovative strategies, build on successes, and evolve and respond to the current and future higher education environment. Every person, every department, and every division must be all in as we ignite and implement innovative strategies. We will lead in this sphere, and as SUNY's Urban Engaged Campus, let's move ahead and model what we can do together as innovators and leaders in higher education. I'm counting on all of you to ignite innovation within your office, workspace, department, division, and classroom. Go forth and ignite innovation. Thank you.